So, ladies and gentlemen, you are here this evening because I think it would be fair to say that someone may have shared information with you that sounded as though it can be something that can be meaningful to your life. And we're going to be talking about money. For me personally, there are two pillars that define the meaning and value for my life, which I've spent my years doing is one is health, having spent 25 years in clinical practice in naturopathic medicine, and the other one is wealth, and they're mutually supportive and inclusive. And I have learned that you can only optimize one by optimizing both. And this evening, we're focusing on this side of wealth. The statement that you see on the screen, I firmly believe is true, that wealth is our birthright, though it may not necessarily be our experience, and that wealth is meant to come to us in a way that we don't have to fight and strive for it. But for that to be so, I have learned that there are five immutable laws that are interconnected and inseparable, that if you find them together in coherence, there is only one outcome that could happen, and that is a continuous flow of wealth. Unfortunately, the world that we have come up in and the way our socioeconomic systems are structured, these laws do not come together by any means. We may find it in measure, but by and large, because these five immutable laws of wealth are missing within society, most of us around the world, we are going to struggle and strive to make our lives financially comfortable. We will live paycheck to paycheck, but financial struggle is a normal part of the majority of humanity's trials that we go through. And it's not meant to be this way. Why I'm excited about what I'm going to share with you is because the world is entering into a new time or a new era, and with it is bringing unprecedented opportunities that never existed for humanity before. And within this change, there is a company, the very one I'm going to introduce you to, that has brought to the world a concept and a system where these five laws actually function. When I looked at this solution to financial challenges, as I look at most things, I have learned to examine and explore any opportunity based on if it aligns with law, if it aligns with order, if it aligns with balance, if it aligns with coherence. And as I studied the ins and outs of this company and what they were doing, I found that these five laws were present. After 4 months of journeying with them and what I've experienced, there is no doubt in my mind that this is perhaps one of, if not the best opportunity that is available today. It's certainly the best that I've come across that helps the average person anywhere in the world to be able to harness their financial lives. So without further ado, let's get started and put on your thinking hats, because where we're about to go is where no one is not very common at all. Let's begin.
Tonight, look around this room. Look at the people next to you. Everything we see started with a dream shared by us. This year, we didn't just work. We built a new world together. With your dedication, we powered the Miracle Chain. We gave life to Mirex and Phoenix. Every node active today is a testament to our collective intelligence. We saw the invisible. Metaterra is vision. Through Bellator, you proved that the strongest currency is trust. We built a clean, powerful family, not a hierarchy, but a brotherhood of leaders. This success belongs to every single one of you. Metaterra is unity. We broke barriers with Miracle Pay. Because of your passion, financial freedom is no longer a concept. It is a reality we delivered to the world. Metaterra is freedom. And look how far we've come, to beyond Bucharest. We are physically shaping the skyline, building an airport, a landmark, a history with our own hands. This is the mark we leave on the earth. Metaterra is legacy. But above all, your hard work turned into kindness for those in need. That is our true heart. So tonight, raise your glasses to what we've built and the giants we are becoming. Metaterra is goodness. Metaterra, the future is ours.
This evening, we're going to be talking about how you can own your financial future by looking at the future of digital finance. Many people may be aware, and some may not be as aware, that the world is currently going through a global financial shift in the monetary system or the financial system. Even though our use of money has become digital for quite some time, 90% of what we pay for today, we pay through using a debit or credit card, and that's all digital finance. But we have come to a place or a threshold in the evolution of digital finance where the world is about to cross over into a new era of how this is going to work. Some are aware and some are not aware. And if you are not aware, I urge you to pay attention to it, because we all are going to be participating in this new era of digital finance. When it comes to owning your financial future, I want us to just think a minute for that, because this is an idea or a concept that we have not had before, where we can actually own our financial future. What this is saying to us is that we have to now become the architects that design how our financial future is going to look. It is saying that we are not going to rely our financial future or entrust it to an institution where we may have a job or be employed any longer, because we know that job security is no longer what it used to be. With the advent of AI and robotics, etc., that's changing. It means that we cannot entrust our financial future not just to institutions, but even social programs of the government, pension plans, social security, NIS. If we are going to own our financial future, it means we have to put it in our minds and in our hearts that we have to become the architects of how that is going to happen. If we don't own our financial future, ladies and gentlemen, we will always rent our freedom out. We want to know what it is to be free, to be able to afford whatever education we want for ourselves or our children. We want to have the freedom to own a home and not live in debt. We want to be able to have the freedom to be able to take our family on a vacation and not worry about having to repay bills. We want to have the freedom of what it is to have the free flow of wealth in our lives. This has been out of reach for the average person before, but I am so proud and happy to tell you that it is no longer the case. Because of Metaterra and Bellator, and because of where we are moving into a new digital financial age of things, this is now possible. Tonight, I'm going to just give you an overview of what they offer to the world and all that I've experienced so far in the short time that I've been with them. To understand this, for you to really capture this, I need to create a context or a framework of understanding so you would see where it is we are and where we're going. I'm going to go through just a few short videos. This one is a generic video that I got on YouTube, but it's perfect because it outlines precisely exactly what's happening now, and it forms a good framework to put into context what we're going to be talking about. So just take a listen and take notes if you must. This YouTube video is available online. It's just a generic video, but you can find it there.
Forget everything you thought you knew about money. We're living through a quiet revolution, a moment where the very definition of value is being rewritten. The world is tokenizing, and money, believe it or not, is just the beginning. When most people hear crypto, they think of Bitcoin, a digital currency floating in cyberspace. But that's like looking at the invention of the internet and only seeing email. What's truly happening is far bigger, far more profound. We're witnessing the birth of a new digital layer for our entire economy. This isn't just about digital cash. Imagine owning a fraction of a skyscraper in Tokyo, a piece of a Monet painting, or even a share in a forest that generates carbon credits. This is the promise of tokenization. We're taking real-world assets, real estate, art, intellectual property, you name it, and transforming them into digital tokens that live on a blockchain. These aren't just JPEGs. They're digital twins of physical things, carrying ownership rights, history, and value. Suddenly, assets that were once illiquid and exclusive are becoming divisible, tradable, and accessible to anyone with an internet connection. It's the democratization of ownership on a scale we've never seen before. So, how is this all possible? The engine driving this transformation is blockchain technology. But let's be clear, blockchain isn't just a fleeting trend, it's a fundamental infrastructure shift, as significant as the railways or the internet itself. Think of it as a new financial architecture being built right under our noses. For decades, our financial system has been a patchwork of slow, expensive, and centralized databases. Blockchain offers a different model, a shared, transparent, and immutable ledger. It's like upgrading from a horse-drawn carriage to a high-speed magnetic levitation train. We're building digital bridges between the old world of finance, Web 2, and the new decentralized world of Web 3, creating a system that's more efficient, transparent, and interconnected. This new architecture brings with it a new set of rules and a fundamental shift in power. In this new world, ownership is becoming programmable. Through something called smart contracts, self-executing agreements written in code, we can define exactly how an asset behaves. Imagine a share of stock that automatically pays you dividends, or a digital concert ticket that grants you access to exclusive content after the show. Your digital identity can be verified instantly without relying on a central authority. This isn't just about buying and selling. It's about embedding logic, rights, and rules directly into our assets. It's a world where the code is, quite literally, the law. Power is shifting from intermediaries to individuals. So, the billion-dollar question is, who wins in this massive transition? It's not just the early crypto adopters or the Wall Street giants. The winners will be those who can bridge the gap, the ones who understand both the language of capital and the logic of code. They are the new hybrid investors, the digital architects who can see the connections between traditional markets and this emerging token economy. They'll use sophisticated AI-driven tools to navigate this complex landscape, managing portfolios that seamlessly blend stocks, bonds, and tokenized assets. This isn't about choosing one world over the other, it's about mastering both. The ability to speak both languages, finance and technology, will be the defining skill of the next generation of wealth creation. But let's not get carried away by the hype. This new frontier is exciting, but it's also fraught with risk. With great power comes great responsibility, and decentralization without sensible guardrails can quickly lead to chaos. We've already seen glimpses of this. Dramatic flash crashes on unregulated exchanges, billions lost to hacks, and protocols collapsing overnight. The speed of innovation is far outpacing the speed of regulation, creating a Wild West environment where investors are vulnerable. Security is a constant battle, and the promise of a trustless system still relies heavily on the integrity of its underlying code. Navigating this world requires not just optimism, but a healthy dose of skepticism and a deep understanding of the potential pitfalls. This is more than just an investment trend. It's the future of our financial system taking shape in real time. The rules are being written right now, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Understanding this new system isn't optional anymore. It's essential for anyone who wants to protect their wealth, seize new opportunities, and have a say in the financial world of tomorrow. This isn't a game you can afford to sit out, because whether you participate or not, this new system is being built around you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are living in what they're calling the tokenized age, where regular assets as we know it and everything around us is being tokenized. And what you would have gathered from that is that tokenization, it is a paradigm shift in ownership that enables anyone, regardless of capital, education, status, or location, to access and own assets that were previously out of reach. This is very important because when we talk about taking charge of our financial future, the pivotal point of leverage to be able to do that is ownership. So what tokenization and this whole decentralized and digital economy that's emerging is affording us is the opportunity to be able to step into a new paradigm where we can function like we were not able to function before. For those of you in the financial space, you would know the name Larry Fink, who is the chairman and CEO of BlackRock, which is the largest asset management company on the planet. He said that tokenization will redefine how assets are owned, transferred, and settled, bringing financial markets onto digital networks. That's happening right now with hundreds of companies already. What we are looking at is the convergence of two worlds, the digital economy and how it's converging with the real world as we know it. And these two worlds are being bridged by our company, Metaterra and Bellator. They are at the forefront of bringing to the world the solution of how these two worlds are going to be bridged effectively, providing an opportunity for the average person to be able to own their financial future. This is a new era of digital reality that is going to reshape how humanity is going to function. And perhaps the biggest distinction that stands out with this is how we get to participate in this new emerging digital economy. Right now, we participate in digital finance in a disconnected manner. The big deal about this new change or this new era is that we get to participate in digital finance from a different vantage point, from a different perspective. It's from a position of personal ownership. And this is very big because in the new digital era that the world is evolving into, individuals like you and I, we get to own and we get sovereignty. We get personal authority to determine what we can own, how we can earn, how much we can earn, and how our money is used. We have never had this autonomy before over our finances. And so we're going to talk a little bit about the governance, the regulated oversight that is required in this era. We're going to talk about the technology, which is blockchain, Many of us we know and we're familiar with the term blockchain, but many of us may not be fully aware of the length and breadth of that. We're going to talk about the utility and real world assets and what that means for us. And then we're going to talk about the people powered growth, we as a community, what it means for us. And so let us move forward within this context. The biggest advent in this bridging of the two worlds that makes it so significant, that's now impacted governments across the world, is an advent that happened last year, July, when the current president of the United States signed into federal law an act that now makes digital currencies legal tender across the globe. For those that are not familiar with that, and I was speaking to a gentleman just a couple of days ago, and when I mentioned about digital currencies and cryptocurrencies, he says, oh no, that's that thing out there, and that's not real money, and that's not something that he would want to be a part of. And I said to him, whether you want to or not, or whether you know it or not, you are going to be using digital currencies because it's now legal tender. And he said, oh, is it? And he's not aware of it. So for those that are not aware, this is what happened in this just short video.
This afternoon, we take a giant step to cement American dominance of global finance and crypto technology as we sign the landmark Genius Act. I pledge that we would bring back American liberty and leadership and make the United States the crypto capital of the world, and that's what we've done. The Genius Act creates a clear and simple regulatory framework to establish and unleash the immense promise of dollar-backed stable coins.
This Genius Act will unlock American dominance in the crypto industry by creating clear rules of the road. It will update archaic payment rails with a revolutionary new payment system, and it will extend U.S. dollar dominance, like you said, globally. This is a huge promise made and promise kept by President Trump. We have a deal maker in chief, and it's because of your vision, your leadership, your determination, your skill that we're all here today. So thank you very much, President Trump.
With today's signing, the future of crypto and the crypto industry, the U.S. dollar working together is going to be stronger and bigger and better than ever before. And thank you, everybody, very much. Thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, what we're seeing is that, and even before the Genius Act was signed, governments and legislatures around the world were already laying down regulatory frameworks for the digital era. The signing of the Genius Act just became like the gun that was shot off at the starting block that now everybody is now moving forward. And that's what brought us to this threshold where we're about to enter a new level of participation in the digital economy. So governments around the world have already laid down the regulatory frameworks for it. And so regulation has indeed caught up with innovation. And this now enables cryptocurrencies to be accepted as legitimate payments. But what is not available globally is that to have payment systems that freely accommodate various types of cryptocurrencies as seamless as you would Visa or MasterCard or any type of debit or credit card. So today, we can use, whether it is a Visa, a MasterCard, American Express, Discover, whatever card, we can go to a single point of sale terminal and use that card regardless of what the name of the card may be, and it's accepted very freely. That type of interoperability, where regardless of what cryptocurrency you have, it can be freely accepted. Such a payment system has not existed that it can now be integrated into the normal global finance. So, but what we do have now is that digital finance has now become embedded into the normal world of finance, and it's now legal tender. And what that means for us is very significant, as we will see. So I looked at some figures that I thought I'd share. It is that Visa, they do annual transactions of $15 to $16 trillion a year. MasterCard, does $9 to $10 trillion in normal commerce transactions. There is larger than this because there's Stripe and there's PayPal and there are other platforms that does also trillions. But I just use these two because they're the most common, the most familiar. People have said to me, but cryptocurrency, who has cryptocurrency? Well, we tend to think that because it's in a digital world and it's not readily used, crypto payments only currently make up less than 1% of current commerce payments. So we're not familiar with it. What we're not familiar with also is that crypto and blockchain transactions account for 18 to 25 trillion dollars a year that moves across blockchain platforms in exchange transfers, DeFi activity, settlements. So it's a large amount of crypto that's available. The issue has been is that there is no availability or facility for it to be transactional as it would be with a regular debit or credit card until now. Now that the regulatory framework is being laid down and now that cryptocurrency is now legal tender, what we need is a way for that to be able to be utilized in this new emerging economy. And that brings us to our company. Our company, its foundation is compliance and credibility. And that's important for us to be aware of because that's what we're built on. We're moving beyond unregulated crypto projects. We are built on a foundation of corporate accountability. This is very important because if you're going to be part of anything, part of my own research is I need to know who's behind it as you would want to as well. Our company has been listed on the NASDAQ on the lower board and is currently going through its quiet period to be uplisted on the NASDAQ. Why is that important? Because a publicly traded company now subjects itself to open scrutiny, to regulatory compliance, and to accountability. A publicly traded company is the only company that is required by law to make its finances publicly known and to be open to this. And so it gives us accountability, it gives us credibility, and it gives us that confidence of knowing that we are working with a compliant company. Now, not only just the company, but it's also important with a publicly traded company that the executive branch, they are legally bound to comply with all the regulatory compliances of it. So it's important to know not just that the company is solid and that it's transparent and everything is above board, it's also equally important to know who's the governance of this company because this is the governance of the economy. This digital economy that we're going to be talking about, this is who governs over it. The visionary and the fintech and blockchain specialists that started building this infrastructure 8 years ago is Hakan Turhan. He is the CEO and founder of the whole enterprise, and his background goes in to banking infrastructures. Then there is Micah Thierd. He's focused on global expansion, and he's the CEO of Bellator Life. And two of them have partnered for years to bring Miracle Technologies and Metaterra to where it is today at a new threshold of governance and enterprise. Douglas Anderson, who is the CEO of Wall Street Capital Partners, he is the chairman of Metaterra, and he is an icon on Wall Street. And the forte of his company is to bring companies to public offering. And you can read about these executives on the company's website, metaterra.com. But there are a stellar and iconic group of individuals who have made their mark with decades in the area of finance and technology. People like Stephen Norris, who is the founder of the Carlyle Group, a large asset management company that is in the arena with companies like BlackRock, Stephen Moore, who is a well-known economist. He was economic advisor and still is economic advisor to the current Trump administration. Some of you may know him as being appointed to chair the Federal Reserve in the first Trump administration, which he declined for personal reasons. But you will get the idea that who runs this company are people who are very well rooted in the area of global finance and technology as well. People like John Bear, who was at the very foundation of cell phone technology. If you know Cellular One, that's his technology. If you know Widevine, which built the technology that's now Google's backbone, that's his technology. He's also the architect of streaming technology, and he's laid a framework for what is the standard for streaming technology used today by Netflix and Disney Plus and these people. Monica Profit, she wrote the book Blockchain 101. But there's a stellar group of people that runs this company, and I am very proud to know that. And why is this so important? Is because you need to know if you're going to build your financial future on some venture, you need to be confident that it has longevity and that it has foresight and that it has vision. And if you know of people like these gentlemen that are in the finance and at the top levels of finance, these people think in terms of decades. They don't think in the next 3 to 5 years. These are people that are in capital asset management and manage large portfolios into the trillions. And so they are looking at decades, and that's who we have at the head of our company. And what they have put together is Miracle's ecosystem, a connected financial infrastructure that I'm going to talk to you about. The company also has offices in 13 countries, and they also have physical crypto stores in Europe where you can walk in and trade crypto for fiat, fiat for crypto. They're the only enterprise that I am aware of that actually have physical stores with actually crypto ATM machines and so on. And they're expanding gradually, especially now that we are entering into this new era. So the ecosystem, this is the ecosystem at a glance, and it is an architecture of value. I'm not going to get into depth with all of it because we will be here all night, but it is a group of interconnected platforms that combined blockchain payments, digital assets, AI, and financial tools into a unified system. Each sector serves a specific role within a broader digital infrastructure. An easy way to think about it is that it is a digital economy. What is so important is that true value multiplies itself through circulation. This is very important. It's an important distinction, and here's why. The economy that you and I function in, whether as an employee or a business owner, or whether you're part of any other business that functions within our traditional economy, we are subject to how that economy functions. And the economy as we know it is what is called an extractive economy. It means that you and I, we pour value into the economy with our skills, our expertise, our creativity, our knowledge, whatever we bring into the socioeconomic sphere, we bring our value in, but the value is extracted and it goes to the top where 5% owns 95% of the wealth in society. It's called an extractive economy, and the 5% that owns the 95% of the wealth, they're the ones that own and regulate the systems and the assets which we are pouring our value into. In other words, the value that we put in does not freely circulate back to us. It is extracted out. And the 95% of us that have access to only 5% of the wealth, we have to find other means through borrowing, etc., and we live in a debt cycle. In this economy, in Metaterra's Bellator Miracle economy, the value, like any economy, there must be currency or money that circulates in it. And so the currency is called Phoenix token. It's a cryptocurrency and it's circulating throughout the whole ecosystem. Every sector of this ecosystem, this flows and brings its value freely to every sector. I just want you to hold in mind, and I gave you the example of our traditional economy for a reason, for us to have perspective on it and to have that contrast, that when value does not circulate, value, currency or money is the lifeblood of any economy. And wherever it does not circulate properly, that area will suffer, just like the body. If blood doesn't circulate to a particular area properly, that area is going to become compromised and suffer. The same thing happens with money. We have to think of money within that light. In our traditional economy, it does not circulate freely everywhere as it's supposed to, so there's lots of financial suffering. In this economy, our Phoenix token, which is our cryptocurrency native to this economy, it flows freely and it brings its value equally every sector. We will get to appreciate that a little bit later. The entire ecosystem functions on our own blockchain. It's called Miracle Chain. And this is the blockchain foundation that interconnects every sector and makes every sector work together in unison as one. It's also important for us to recognize that the smart contracts that every blockchain platform will have that determines how it functions, it's important to know that it is immutable. It's an immutable foundation, meaning that when the smart contracts that determine how the entire economy is supposed to run, when it's embedded onto the chain, it now becomes law and immutable logic. It cannot be changed. And so we have the confidence of knowing that we have a very secure platform. On this blockchain, we have a second currency. It's called the Mirix token. And this one is relative to economic growth of the ecosystem. Stay with me. The Phoenix token is the currency that circulates its value throughout, and as it continues to gain in value, that value circulates throughout the entire economy. As it circulates throughout the economy and the economy grows, it pours value into the Mirix token, which represents economic growth. When we participate in this economy, we earn daily currency and we earn daily economic growth, equity. That will come together in understanding. Why is that important? Because this is the mechanism of how the value circulates. When we participate in this economy, we are earning two currencies. One is daily value, and the one is daily equity, which is long-term inheritance that has value that is relative to the growth of the economy. The other one is relative to growth of value on a daily basis. And that will become clearer. But it's important for us to understand that it is an economy that has been constructed for us. And why is this important? Because this is necessary and imperative for building real wealth. Now, for this to really work and for it to be viable and sustainable, you cannot just have value circulating within the economy based on just what makes up the economy. It must have external input into the economy in order for it to be scalable and for there to be growth and for it to be have long-term value. It must have constant input from the external world. So what we do have is a blockchain foundation that is now bringing to the world, that is now looking to tokenize, a world that is looking for all the avenues, for the technology, for the infrastructure that can accommodate this new digital era. Our blockchain and our infrastructure of our economy brings to the world the new way business is going to be done. So what we want to understand and what I'm going to open up to you is the the various ways that the external world now comes into our economy and expands it, and what that will mean for us. So just take a look, take a listen to this.
Welcome to the future of business. Miracle Chain, where blockchain meets automation and AI transforms how companies grow. Imagine onboarding customers with a tap, paying teams worldwide in seconds, and launching token ecosystems without writing a single line of code. With Iterato, your sales force becomes unstoppable. AI handles the follow-up, while gamification drives viral growth. Need to launch your own token? Miracle Launchpad and DEX give you everything: pre-sales, vesting, swaps, and full control. The Miracle Wallet simplifies finance. No seed phrases, just seamless access to crypto. Commissions and payments, secure, compliant, and easy to white label. And at the core, Miracle Chain. A private layer 2, built for scale, compliance, and automated global payouts. Whether you're selling online or in-store, Miracle Pay bridges fiat and crypto so you can do business anytime, anywhere. Miracle Chain. Powering the digital economy, one smart system at a time.
So that is the foundation of our digital economy that we have, and the world has already begun to come in to our economy for our to use our infrastructure. One of the sectors, the first sector we're going to talk about that's relative for us this evening is digital asset and ownership. It's called EquiToken, and this is where real world assets are being tokenized. You're going to see in a minute that Miracle, Metaterra, is now in the process of preparing to tokenize the largest tokenized project in the world. We've also just secured another contract, a $12 billion contract to tokenize oil reserves in Saudi Arabia. So I want us to get the sense that this is not just a startup company that's now trying to find its way. It has a global footprint that's established over 8 years of growth and a leadership that is well connected into this world of finance. Now, you would have gotten from the video that we started with that tokenization is fractional ownership. It is how we can get to own assets of real world assets that might have been inaccessible before. So now you can own a part of a building, part of an enterprise, part of some type of an asset fractionally and gain benefits from owning that. And so real world assets, it takes those tangible things that we have of value, and the world is now tokenizing it. Why would they do that? Because tokenizing brings immediate liquidity to the partners, of those who own the assets. They get immediate liquidation. They get immediate money for their income while the assets are still there. And so on our ecosystem, there's the proof of ownership, there's transparent and immutable on-chain records. And so the first thing that we're looking at is that we can participate in is ownership of real world assets in a way that's actually accessible to us. There is what we call a Project X node, which I'm going to talk about in a little bit, that allows us to earn, not just own assets, but we actually get to earn from all the tokenized projects that our company is doing. We get to earn from it in perpetuity. We can own an asset that will pay us for the rest of our lives on every tokenized project that the company brings in. And right now it has some of the largest tokenized project has ever been done in the world. So just take a listen. These videos are all available online. I just will have 2 minutes of this clip. I'll just play the first 2 minutes just to give you an idea of what I'm talking about.
Hi, I'm Monica Malpass here at the New York Stock Exchange for New to the Street and FinTech TV. Welcome. And we have the pleasure of having not one but two guests today. We have Pablo Smagrives. He is the Senior Managing Director of Maxim Group's Investment Banking Division. Welcome to you.
Thank you.
Douglas Anderson, great to have you back. He is, of course, Chairman of Meta-Terra Holdings, as well as CEO of Wall Street Capital Partners and Chairman of the New Bucharest Capital Airport. So a man with at least three, if not more, hats. Great to have you both.
Great to be here, Monica. Thank you.
There are some exciting possibilities, collaborations that you are both considering for your companies. Tell us a little bit about that, Douglas.
Well, you know, Meta-Terra Holdings has kind of reached a point where we want to reach out to a strong banking firm on Wall Street to partner with us and shepherd us through an uplisting process onto the NASDAQ main board as quickly as we can. I can announce that we've acquired a shell company. Meta-Terra Holdings Inc. has acquired a shell company. We're going to reverse into that shell company, and at that stage, it's time for us to engage a great firm. And I've known Maxim for many years, and Pavlos is a good friend of mine, and I can't think of anyone we'd rather be with. So we're exploring that right now. We're going to try and get that papered up and get on the road to success.
Wonderful.
Another great thing about Maxim is, as I said, they've been on the street for many years. They collaborated with and closed around $18 billion in the aggregate of transactions last year, and they're growing. And they're also extremely comfortable in the space that we're going in, because we're talking about tokenizing. Basically, with this airport, we'll have the largest tokenized asset in the world.
Wow.
And to have a firm that's comfortable in the emerging market, comfortable in cross-listing, comfortable in crypto and tokenization, all of those things, Maxim's a perfect firm for that.
So that's just to give us a sense that the tokenizing projects that the company, hearing it from the chairman himself, and knowing that we're going through that, we're in the quiet period of that uplisting on the NASDAQ right now. And how this matters to you and I is another sector of the economy called Minterra, which is where we're on-chain applications. And this is where automated rewards, how we earn, this is how it happens. It happens through our ownership of assets within the Meta-Terra, Bellator, Miracle economy. It's not about, we are not customers, we are not employees, we are not distributors, we are partners, we are stakeholders, because we own assets within the infrastructure. And the future of wealth really is going to be in owning infrastructure in the digital economy. Many people are familiar within the crypto space about buying and selling and trading crypto and that, but that's one side of it. That's the speculative side of it. But we are talking about the inside operational side on the back end, where we own the real estate, so to speak, because it really is digital real estate that we are owning. And this is what gives us our passive income. And so in this world, they're called NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens, which simply means assets that cannot be exchanged, they cannot be duplicated, they cannot be forged, they're unique in and of themselves. And so Minterra is an automated system that once we own our assets, it streams revenue to us on a daily basis. And the interesting thing is that it pays us, this revenue is generated every day throughout the course of our lives, or for the life that this enterprise would exist. And these are contract-based automated systems that are in place. So the new architecture of creating wealth within this digital economy is owning what we call node assets, or their node NFTs. And there are multiple types of nodes that do different things. So you can own different nodes that will do different things within the economic structure of the economy. But whatever asset you own, whether it be a node asset or whether it be a fractional ownership of a real world asset, you will continuously earn from it. So I want us to get the sense, ladies and gentlemen, this is not about being involved in something that will pay us a little extra income on the side so we can meet our bills. This is about building wealth and building generational wealth and building a legacy. I'm telling you, for the first time, certainly in my lifetime and all that I've ever been involved, including the businesses and the real estate I've owned, this is the first time that I've seen such potential that exists for us. So you can get an understanding of what owning a node asset is. This video is just about a minute that will give us an understanding of that.
Nodes, the unsung heroes that tirelessly support blockchain infrastructure and lets all blockchain systems keep themselves in check. Think of them as the backbone of the blockchain. Networks require decentralized validation to ensure the security of transactions, where a decentralized network acts as a safeguard. Curious to learn more about how an everyday individual can participate in decentralized finance as a banker? That's where Miracle comes in. Node investments can be your ticket to passive income. As transactions flow through the blockchain, you, as a node investor, earn a share of the pie. It's a revolutionary way to make your money work for you, without the need for constant oversight. Our new products, Node and Leveler, are designed to make you a first mover in the world of blockchain investment. Embrace the future with Miracle, where Node, Phoenix, and Leveler work together to mitigate fluctuations. Your future starts here.
So we can own a node, which are all embedded into functional aspects of the blockchain. And our nodes, they validate every transaction. Nothing moves throughout the economy that's not being validated, secured, or recorded in some way by these nodes. And every time transactions move, there's always fees being generated across the system. And so we get paid passive income from just owning operational infrastructure of the nodes. Now, it gets bigger than that, and I'm going to get to that in a second. Now, how we do it through another sector of the economy called, this is Mintera. This is how our automated income comes to us. And the reason why I'm highlighting this is because this is not effort-driven, this is asset-driven. This is not, we have to do anything to get it. This is because we own the infrastructure. It flows to us and it's automated. So it's 100% passive income. And so you own, you earn, and it keeps scaling. So what you are earning today is not what you will be earning a few months from now, and a year from now, and 2 years. It continues to scale based on the growth of the economy. So the question that will arise is, what will drive the economic growth and continually increase our rewards as we go along? Well, this is what brings us to this bridge. It's called Miracle Pay. Miracle Pay is the first globally interoperable payment system that interfaces the old world of finance and the digital world of finance, bringing them together where cryptocurrencies can be used as a regular daily payment for everyday goods and services, regardless of what mainstream crypto you may have or what blockchain it runs on. We have a payment system. The world now has a payment system, the first of its kind, where whether I have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Phoenix, I have one method that when I tap my phone, or if I insert my card or I swipe my card, it seamlessly converts my crypto into the fiat currency of that country, and it goes into the merchant's account as fiat currency. It is an amazing technology, and now Miracle, through Metaterra, has brought to the world the first of its type functional and globally interoperable. And how are they able to do this? I'll show you in a minute, but let's get a sense of how Miracle Pay works.
Let's rewind thousands of years to a time before money existed. How did people pay? A sack of wheat? Some heavy metal? Or maybe a live chicken? Trying to fit a chicken in your wallet? Not ideal. Luckily, financial revolutions followed one another, bringing us to the present day. And today, a new revolution begins. Miracle Pay. So, what is Miracle Pay? It's your innovative, secure, and transparent way to accept payments in any cryptocurrency. Why blockchain? Because it's decentralized. No more bank bureaucracy, no more endless paperwork. And security? It's not controlled by a few guys in a suit. It's secured by hundreds of millions of people across thousands of nodes worldwide. With Miracle Pay, you can get paid anywhere. Whether you're selling ice cream on a glacier in Alaska, or selling hot tea in the middle of the Sinai Desert. We might question your business model, but never your payment system. 24/7 security, 99.9% uptime, and support for over 100 wallets. Miracle Pay is your trusted blockchain partner. Join Miracle Pay today. Integrate the future of payments into your business right now.
And I am happy to announce that this global payment system goes live in just a few days on the 25th of this month. So even though those of us partners who have been part of the ecosystem, we were getting paid all along, but we were getting paid from all of the on-chain activity. So you can imagine now when this system goes live globally, and of course, naturally, there's going to be a process and a progress of adoption that will follow. But the system now goes live, meaning that we are now going to be able to see a whole lot more activity. So when we talked about earlier that it must be external input into our economy and not just be facilitated by its own infrastructure, this is huge. And it's huge because Miracle Pay is being integrated in over 100 million terminals, merchant terminals worldwide, because we have been able to secure contracts with 4 of the world's largest payment providers. You can look them up. Ingenico, Pax, Verifone, and NCR are 3 of the world's largest terminal payment providers, both online and in store. So the next time you go into a grocery store or into a store at the mall or even the machines in a bank, and you look at the names on the machines, most of the time you're going to see Ingenico, you may see Pax, you may see Verifone, because they comprise about 85% of global terminals in 120 countries. Our company has contracts with them and exclusivity with Ingenico, where our software is now preloaded or integrated into their payment systems. And so as the system goes live, people that move trillions of dollars of crypto across exchanges but have had nowhere to be able to use it freely, they will now have that system available to them. And so we have partners across the globe where we now can offer the world a global payment system where it doesn't matter the cryptocurrency, it accommodates that. Why is that important? Because we have come to a place in financial evolution in the digital economy globally where the world is ready for it. But as you would hear the commentary from the leaders across the globe, we need to upgrade our payment systems to now accommodate it. Miracle is the first company to bring its technology, having been building it for the last 8 years, and now we are ready to share that with the world. So that's the first point of value, is that we are filling a need and we're bringing to the world a need that it has right now at this moment. And so what does that mean for us? If we own a node, we own the part of the infrastructure every time somebody does a transaction. Now, remember, we're already earning from in-chain and in-economy transactions between all the 12 sectors of our economy. As things move and are used in there, we are earning. But more than that, we're now going to be earning from external input, all the tokenized projects, which are billion-dollar projects. Now we have a global payment system. So listen to this. If you own one of these nodes, what it means.
You've probably heard the saying, if only I were early. Early to Bitcoin, early to Amazon, early to Tesla. Well, here it is again. But this time, it's not about hype. It's about owning the rails of a new financial system. Introducing CPU nodes, digital assets that earn daily from real crypto transactions happening worldwide. Every time someone pays with crypto, in-store or online, a small fee powers the network. And if you own a node, you get paid. These nodes are already paying every single day in a digital currency undervalued today, but set to explode in the months ahead. We've secured contracts with 4 global terminal providers, giving us access to over 100 million active merchants. And we're also integrated with major online retailers, processing billions each month. When even a small percentage of that volume transacts in crypto, node rewards skyrocket. The system is active. Payouts have begun. We're funding our aggressive expansion, not with Wall Street, but with everyday people like you. Together, we're decentralizing wealth. By owning the new infrastructure of money, timing is everything. Own a node now and earn every day for life.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, if you can just stop for a minute and just think, just imagine that millions of people all over the world, particularly as the world emerges into this digital economy, understanding that all major central banks in the world right now are now piloting their own CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. Big banks like JP Morgan has already launched their own cryptocurrency last year. We are moving into a world where digital currencies are going to become the norm, and it's going to happen faster than people think. We are moving into the forefront, and the company has estimated they're at least 5 years ahead of any company. And because we have secured the largest portion of the market with payment systems, imagine that millions of people all over the world, every time they tap, swipe, or insert their card to pay with crypto, that we are going to be paid, and we're going to get paid a portion of the transaction fee. Remember, everything that moves on chain, there is going to be fees, whether it is in-chain or on-chain activity or external tokenizing projects, payment systems. There's a transaction fee, and it's every time that happens, every time we use our own card, there's a transaction fee. And so this is how we have this passive income, and it pays us for how long? For the life of this company. We will continue 24/7, 365 to receive this. So just to come down for a landing now, there are things that a couple of the sectors of the economy that I'm going to just share with you that people might be familiar with. We have an area called our Phoenix Arena, and it's on-chain based gaming. And for those of you who may not be aware, gaming is a multi-billion-dollar industry. People all over the world, they put out a lot of money into gaming. We have launched our Phoenix Arena just a couple of weeks ago, and they're still currently adding more games onto the chain. But every time people participate, every time somebody enters a game, every time that happens, there's a fee, and we are going to earn every time people do their gaming. How does it work for us and for those people using cryptocurrency? We have Miracle Neo, which is our digital banking access, and this connects users to everyday financial tools that link crypto with traditional banking, turning digital value into practical spending power. And so we're fully integrated and fully functional online with IBAN accounts. Those are the type of accounts that allows us to be able to have cross-border transactions. We have these crypto-enabled debit cards. They are MasterCards. So wherever MasterCard is accepted, we get to be able to seamlessly tap, swipe, and insert our card where we will convert our cryptocurrencies into real-world transactional value. The entry is our Miracle Wallet. To transact anywhere across in the crypto world, across blockchains, you have to have a crypto-enabled wallet. It becomes part of your digital identity. And this is your entry point, because this is where you must have a place to where you're going to store your assets as well as store all your earnings. And the Miracle Wallet is a very simplified, but it's a very potent and very powerful wallet in terms of security. That brings us to this point as to how do you enter in and you become an owner of an asset. These are limited time offers that we have right now. Actually, the offers, I think, have expired for some of them. The one that's remaining now is the Miracle CPU node. This is very important because this is the node itself that actually underpins the blockchain. It is the, if you will, the king of all the nodes. There's nothing that moves on the Miracle chain, regardless of what sector it's moving on, that does not involve the Miracle CPU node. There may be other nodes that deal with other sectors. For example, our Project X node. This node specifically deals with the sector of tokenization. And so all tokenization projects that the company is dealing with, we get to earn in perpetuity a percentage of the fees that come in from all tokenized projects, and that happens for life as well. All our earnings are in perpetuity. But whereas that is specific to that area, the Miracle CPU node is also involved in the tokenizing and every other sector. So this is the one that really underpins all blockchain activity. It's $1,200 for a node, which in my estimation is really a giveaway, but they have an offer now where if you buy one, you will get one free, and so you will own 2 nodes. That goes on until Tuesday, February 24th. That will come to an end. After this date, this asset will no longer be available at all. The value of this is so huge. I will also say that if we have any investing partners here on the call, it will be my encouragement to you that if you can and it's within your means, you should try to get as many of these nodes as you possibly can, because down the road, you are going to be so glad that you did. These assets, they're in your custody. You own them for life. They're available, they're transferable, and they're saleable. So just to give a brief recap as we come to a close is that the income is passive income. It is asset driven, not effort driven. The first one is when we own a Miracle CPU node. It is tied to over 100 million merchants that have our Miracle Pay solution in 120 countries. We get to earn 10 to 30% of every transaction fee, and our nodes are mining the Phoenix token every day. Now, for those who understand the crypto world will catch that. Those of us who are new to it might not fully grasp what that is saying, but your node is actually producing 80 to 100 of these Phoenix coins every day. When that grows in value, you can only imagine what it's going to be. I personally refer to it as Bitcoin 2.0 on steroids because what is going to happen, there's no cryptocurrency that has been ever developed that has such massive utility and real world transactional value and utility as this. This is the first of its type. It's the first company of its type to go to Wall Street, to be on the NASDAQ, the first company to tokenize such massive real world assets. This company is at the forefront of it all. What will happen to the value of this currency, it's left to be seen, but there's only one thing in my estimation, having some understanding of this world, what will happen to it. So understand that our nodes are producing these tokens daily. That's phenomenal. In addition to that, we are being paid for transactional value, everything in on-chain and real-world transactional activity. Then we're also earning at the same time, simultaneously, the MERIX token, which is a revenue-sharing asset tied to economic growth. Do you see economic growth in here? There is massive economic growth that will only expand exponentially because of where the world is on what this company is offering to the world. So we are earning value on both fronts. Then we have a Project X node, which is our passport into automated long-term financial security. All of this is generational income. Can you imagine earning a 4% on all tokenized projects in perpetuity, all of these real-world assets? And finally, there's an optional referral program that's available for those who may opt to do that. And that is where we would share what this economy is offering the average individual. In this economy, there are no losers. Everyone that enters this economy, this ecosystem, they will earn because it is not effort-driven, it is asset-driven. How much you will earn and how big you want to make that is totally up to the individual, how much you want to participate within the economy. The more participation, the more you're going to scale, the more you're going to grow. And literally, as the CEO says, there is no limit to how much you can earn based on your participation. And so for those who just own assets, well, it earns very handsomely for you, and we might be quite satisfied with that, and that's okay. But there are those of us like myself who I know so many people that need to have an opportunity like this where I feel comfortable to know that they are going to earn. It is not one of those situations where they may or may not, based on how hard they're willing to work long enough, they might make it. This is not that. This is they are going to make. It's just up to them how much they want to make. As for those of us who participate in the referral program, we have access to 6 additional streams of income. That is absolutely phenomenal. And ladies and gentlemen, this is not your traditional network marketing model at all. This is a new area of finance where we have strong governance, we have strong technology, we have personal growth and development, and we are the beneficiaries, and I'm inviting you to take a good look to join this revolution. This is not a question about should I participate because it's speculation or it's a risk. This is where the world is going. This is how do you want to be positioned in this new economy. The gateway is through Bellator Life, which is the exclusive marketing arm that brings all of Metaterra's products and services and technology to the world. And as I said, it's not traditional network marketing. Traditional network marketing more resembles a bucket that has holes where you have to constantly be recruiting people. This does not require that. You constantly have to have sales volumes every month in order to earn or in order to qualify, and you have to have auto ships. This has none of that in it. This is an asset-driven model. We call it Aladdin. It's an Aladdin model, and it's a permanent foundation that doesn't only just not leak out, it continues to grow and expand as the economy grows and expands. This is not labor-based income. This is ownership-based income that multiplies literally into wealth. I want to say this. This cannot happen in a fiat world. This can only happen in a world with digital finance. This kind of potential does not exist anywhere. And the comfort for me personally is that the 5 laws of wealth creation, which is value creation, ownership, leverage, compound growth, and stewardship, are all the hallmarks of how this economy works. That has been the biggest selling point for me. And what we mean by an Aladdin model, Aladdin is an acronym that means AI leveraged, asset driven, digital income network. And it shifts from being a sales organization to asset ownership. And that is the difference. And so this now gives us the time, the space, the income where we can now put into our lives and execute our lives in ways where our passion really lies. And so what I've just presented to you, ladies and gentlemen, is a solution to our financial struggles, unlike anything that I have seen before. It has a very solid foundation, and it opens up the laws of wealth creation to us in ways that I've never seen before. And after just almost 4 short months of it, I'm a recipient of it, and I can tell you it works. And for those of you who may be interested in the referral program, speak to the host partner that might have invited you on, and we would have another session, because to break that down, to see the potential of that in itself is massive, because you're talking about 6 additional streams of also passive income. So people say, passive income in a referral program, how does that work? If you don't have to have monthly auto ships, you don't have to have monthly sales, you don't require to have any monthly volumes. It's not. So where's the money coming from? Because all the input from within the economy and every transaction that happens externally and all the tokenizing projects, a portion of that goes into the referral program to pay us our commissions, those of us who are building effort to expand the economy. What we are in effect doing, ladies and gentlemen, is inviting people to become part of a true economy that functions by law, that helps us to become more prosperous. And by inviting people to participate in this economy, the more participation, the more value it brings to the economy, the more value everybody gets back. We grow together inside of this economy. It's a wonderful system that they've done. And so I want to thank you for taking your time, for being here and listening and giving me the opportunity to share this with you. Do get back to the person that shared the opportunity with you. This is an opportunity to truly own your financial future. And this is where I will leave you and say good night as you listen to our own anthem.
Building a world on the chain, turning the future from cold to flame. Trust in the block, trust in the plan. Mediterra, here we stand. Mediterra, light the way. New tomorrow starts today. From the dust we rise again. Mediterra, we believe we win. Every transaction, every line, carving a path through space and time. From local dreams to global skies. Mediterra, we realize. Mediterra, light the way. New tomorrow starts today. From the dust we rise again. Mediterra.
Would you like this guy?